All right. Hi, I'm Aaron Lahman, and I'm excited to be here today and excited to be growing alongside of you. Yeah, whether you're catching this on Facebook live or if you happen to join me on YouTube after the fact, um, welcome. Welcome to this breath, feelings, essential oils, and meditation class. I designed this class because this is what I need right now. I don't know about you, but I kind of find that when you teach and talk about something that you know you need, the more you can start to believe and breathe it in. And so I think over this last couple of years, these breath, feelings, essential oils, and meditation have all been super critical just for my day-to-day flow. Probably longer than that. I mean, I definitely been locked into this body, mind, spirit wellness journey for some time, but just here the last couple of years with my mom going through her cancer journey and dying at the end of November, it's just been a bit more of an intense roller coaster here the last 2 years. So that being said, welcome. I don't know what it's like to be you. I only know what it's like to be me. I'll be speaking from my own personal experience. This will be a 30-minute class. I will include a little bit of a meditation as we go through the different feelings kit oils, because that could be helpful, I think, just as you get to know the different oils, and gives you a little glimpse into what I do on my own personal page as well, with a feelings kit meditation. So on that note, yeah, however you found this workshop, I'm just grateful you're here and grateful to be healing and transforming alongside you. I am not a healthcare professional or a doctor. I'm not here saying that if you do X, Y, and Z, or if you just use these oils, all is going to be good. I just have really been blessed by these oils and really feel grateful for these oils. And so I'll share some stories about how I use them. But yeah, definitely not a doctor here. So always check in with your healthcare provider with different wellness needs you have. So let's begin with breath. And so whether you're joining on Zoom or if you're live on Facebook or watching this after the fact on YouTube, why don't we just take a few deep breaths together? Just slowing things down a little bit, coming back into awareness of this powerful system, lungs, blood pumping, organs functioning, muscles and joints and bones, and right? I mean, wow, what a gift. So just breathing into this now. I started with my breath up here at my lungs, but oftentimes in the yoga world, we put our hands down on our tummies because we were really wanting to bring our breath down into our belly, which is a deeper breath, more full breath. So maybe you can put your hand on your tummy like I am. And just inhaling and filling that up. And then exhaling. So breath, for me, walking alongside my mom over her final 16 months of her life here on the earth, we spent a lot of time just focusing in on breath and presence and appreciating this incredible connection that we have to plants and to, I read recently that the phytoplankton in the ocean provide 70% of the Earth's oxygen that we're breathing in. So just breathing that in, I mean, we can just take a nice deep breath of that awareness. The oceans around the world, the phytoplankton in those oceans provide 70% of the oxygen that we're breathing in. So no trees, no life, no ocean, no life, no desert sands, no life. Maybe you've heard that before, that the rainforests in the Amazon actually benefit from the desert sands in the Sahara in Africa. Like the sand literally blows up through the sky and then coats the rainforest canopy in such a way that it helps keep that rainforest functioning well and healthy. So this anyway, so no desert sands, no life, no breath, no life. So research continues to show the importance of taking time to breathe intentionally. I have not done a deep dive into breath work. I am constantly thinking about it and pondering to dive deeper into it. Wim Hof is a breathwork practitioner that have been intrigued by, and I've learned from some people who have studied with him. And I just feel and continue to learn just slowing down and breathing really helps us to reset, helps us to find the earth again. And maybe you can connect with that. Maybe that resonates with you. But oftentimes we're so up here in our brains and in our minds and going with the next things to do and all this and that. Sometimes it just takes a few deep breaths to come back and realize, like, oh my goodness, I have arms here. This is a body. I'm in a body. This is cool, right? But we spend so much time engaged up here, sometimes we forget. And so just a few deep breaths can bring us back into our body. So here's coming back into our body together tonight, or whenever you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook. And yeah, so breath. There have been some of the psychological input, like benefits are increased comfort, relaxation, pleasantness, vigor and alertness, reduced symptoms of arousal, anxiety, depression, anger, and confusion. Boy, I don't know about you, but I'm a human and some of those things float into my reality. So how can I show up for peace, show up for more peace in my life? And then essential oils, for me, one of the reasons I love teaching essential oils workshops is because they are a reminder, right? When I put oils, here in my diffuser, when I put oils in the diffuser, I think I put harmony in here and forgiveness oil in there. And so when I'm breathing those in, or even just breathing from the bottle, right? It's taking me back into my body, into my breath, into like being in awe of all that this oxygen is providing my system. So slowing down to breathe. Here's to the journey we're each on, and having conversations with ourselves about breath. I love this piece and maybe you've heard of the Huberman Lab podcast with Dr. Andrew Huberman. He shared this on his Twitter recently, and he just said, physiological sighs. It's not necessarily yogic or breath work, but he says a deep nasal inhale. So let's try it together. We're going to do a deep nasal inhale, followed by a second brief nasal inhale. So it's deep inhale, another little one, and then a full exhale via the mouth. So we'll do it a couple more times. So deep inhale, a little bit more, and then a full exhale through the mouth. So inhale through the nose, a little bit more. My wife and I have actually been doing this a little bit before bed. Sometimes we'll just both, because I told her about this tweet I read, and I was like, this is beautiful. And he just says it's, he's done tons of research, and this is a naturally occurring breathing pattern that reverses hypoxia, occurs in sleep too, and also happens to be the fastest way to de-stress. So maybe there's a lot of different breath techniques, but maybe this is one that you consider writing down. Deep nasal inhale, followed by a little bit more of a breath, like a little bit more of an inhale, and then a full exhale through the mouth. So physiological sigh, definitely encourage you to check out Dr. Andrew Huberman and the work he's doing in the lab and on his podcast and the people he's interviewing. So the second word on the workshop was feelings. And I was raised by two counselors. So I was raised to talk through my feelings, to process through how I was feeling each day. I remember once my brother went to college, it was me and my mom and my dad at the house together, just the three of us. And up until that point, it was always, we would do these share times at dinner and we would like check in about our days. And sometimes we'd set a timer for 2 or 3 minutes. Sometimes we'd do longer sharing, but we would talk about our feelings. We would talk about our days, like what was good, what was hard, what was difficult. And so we were, anyway, when my brother went to college, my sister was already at college. It was just me and mom and dad, me and the two counselors. So boy, we kind of forgot about the timer. I ended up probably talking for 20, 30 minutes every single night to my mom and my dad. They just would let me process through my feelings. We'd figure out some solutions. I had some challenges at school with some teammates on my basketball team, and they would help me just kind of strategize. And anyway, so here's to, personally, I feel very passionate being raised by two counselors. Here's to feeling our feelings. Here's to feeling our feelings. And I've gone through waves on this life journey, and maybe you have as well. Like I was on a bit of a wave there for a while where it was like gratitude and joy. Those are the two options. It was like gratitude and joy, gratitude and joy, gratitude and joy. And hey, here's to that beautiful practice. There are beautiful benefits and blessings that come from a gratitude and joy practice. Okay. That is life-giving to ourselves, no doubt about it, right? Here over the last 2 years, and specifically the last 6 months since my mom passed, I have been really learning that there are a lot of other feelings. There are a lot of other feelings that are not so fun and that are pretty darn painful and not enjoyable, and yet are really important to feel, right? I don't know about you, but like, I think sometimes it's easy to be like, oh, anger, do I suppress that? How do I process through that? Or how do I release that? Or how do I express that? And so I think my invitation to you in sharing this workshop is, may we feel the feelings. May we find safe places and safe people in our network of community members, right? May we find safe places where we can process through some of those harder feelings, right? For me right now, dealing with anger that my mom's not here, right? As the youngest child and kind of attached to her, not going to lie, I'm kind of broken up about her not being on the earth with me right now. And so how do I process through that? How do I find safe places, right? My wife has been a safe place. I've done some therapy appointments. I've got some more therapy appointments coming. I've been doing a lot of time out in nature, listening to music, feeling my feelings, crying a lot, right? And so I think for me, 2 pieces on this, okay? Because this, and those of you who are reading through the slide, it is, in my opinion, and from what I'm learning, feeling all of the feelings is critical. Feeling the grief is really important versus like sprinting out of it, getting back to gratitude and joy. Now, don't get me wrong, gratitude and joy are under there, right? The gratitude is underneath the grief. Like that actually impacts, right? The love, a lot of people will say love is underneath the grief. It's a part of the grief. And so here's to each of us showing up for the feelings. Being aware, I want to tell you this, I can't spend the next 4 years in griefland. Personally, I'm not going, like, my grief is going to evolve over the next 4 years, but I'm not rushing the process, but I can't sit day in and day out just being angry. Like, I know that if I do that, that would be similar to like suppressing the grief down, right? If you're like, my mom and dad would always teach this visual of like the storm cloud, right? You got the storm cloud. And so sometimes it takes some processing, some verbal processing, Sometimes it takes some breath work. Sometimes it takes a massage. Sometimes it takes time in nature, right? There's lots of different ways in which we can show up for these storm clouds, these tougher feelings. And as we then start to move, we can allow them to move. Those storm clouds can move and they don't have to hang for the next 2 decades, right? Now, I will forever be changed by this grief process I'm walking through, but I don't need to be in a hurry to move through it. And also, I also need to have boundaries about when I go there, right? So when we're angry, like having boundaries of like, okay, I'm gonna do some journaling right now, and I'm gonna write some angry feelings out or talk about my angry feelings. So having a space for it, having a container for it, but also I don't want to be in angry zone all day. It's going to impact. I'm not going to be a good husband. I'm not going to be a good uncle, right? I'm going to not be a good business leader, right? So it's going to impact so many other zones. So here's to your unique journey. Again, thanks for listening to me. I'm just going to breathe. Thanks for listening to me. Our emotions are impacting our bodies. They are they are impacting our bodies. And so whether that is the expression or the suppression, it's impacting our bodies. So gratitude and joy are so huge, right? Breathing in infinite love, so huge for ourselves. And also showing up for those other feelings and giving them time as well, I think is really important for our overall body, mind, spirit wellness. Mind-body research is continuing to expand, and our ability to show up for our feelings will support us today and forever. And finding tools that we can access to support our healing and transforming is important. So again, you're different. We're all different, right? For me, karaoke is a great way for me to express and release feelings, right? Maybe for you, it's like dancing or buying a coloring book, and that's a way that will help bring calm. Or when you want to, be with a feeling, maybe it's coloring. So here's to your unique journey of being with your feelings, feeling your feelings, finding safe places, safe spaces to share your feelings, and realizing the impact they're having on our overall wellness journey. So what are essential oils? Essential oils are the lifeblood of the plant. And when these plants are grown in the right conditions, harvested at the correct time, and distilled with the utmost care, they can aid in keeping our bodies well, healthy, and happy, which is how our bodies were intended to be. Essential oils are composed of teeny molecules, and these molecules are so small that they can pass through our tissues and directly into our cells. Our systems are super effective and can transport these molecules all over our bodies within a matter of minutes. Young Living has been sharing essential oils and other amazing products for the last 28 years. Young Living has 25 seed to seal farms around the world. They are an industry leader with regard to testing. I mean, they are rejecting batches if they come in and are not testing at the purity that they expect. So that is a huge blessing. Young Living currently has over 600 life-changing products and members in 100 countries globally. And I'm also really thankful for the Young Living Foundation. If you've not heard that Young Living has a foundation, I would highly recommend checking that out at some point, just to learn more about the projects that they have going on around the country and around the world. And sorry for the pause. Resume sharing. Got a phone call that hasn't happened, so there we go. Okay, and moving on. So that's why Young Living. Young Living Seed to Seal Promise is a big reason that I've been using Young Living since 2006. My family first started using Young Living's products and oils. Just that from the time the seed is planted to the time a bottle gets sealed up. Like, we know that the oils mixed into this blend of forgiveness oil are the best of the best on the planet. So how to use essential oils. topically, aromatically, and internal dietary. So topically, this is forgiveness oil. I can take a nice drop of this. It can become a cologne or a perfume. So for me, around, that's weird, right? That you're like, what's he rubbing that on his ears for? So for me, ears, back of the neck, or on my wrists would be examples of topical application with some of these feelings kit oils. If you're brand new to the essential oils world, I highly recommend having like a carrier oil, an organic coconut oil, jojoba oil, something to dilute the oils just as you're getting used to them and getting to know the different oils. Our skin is all different, our bodies are different, so your skin may react differently than mine does to just direct application like I just did. Next method would be aromatic. So that's just breathing it in, right? Just breathing it in like that from the bottle, or as I showed the diffuser, aromatically, just allowing the oil to diffuse around the room and to not only make the place smell better, but also provide wellness benefits as well. And then the last one is internal dietary, and Young Living actually has a vitality line. So you'll just look up Young Living vitality line, and it'll show you all of the oils that you can mix into marinades or put in a big glass of water. Or make a dressing, make scones, lavender scones, or what, you get to decide. There's, but just check to make sure that you've got vitality. Like look up, and then you'll be able to see all the different vitality oils that Young Living offers. So now we'll just speak about the Feelings Kit for the next 5-6 minutes. The Feelings Kit, I've known about the kit for a long time, but I've really started loving it and using it more often here the last couple of years. And I, like about 1.5 years ago, I think, as my mom was walking through her process and I was, supporting her, this Feelings Kit felt very important for me, just to like show up for the feelings that were coming up. And so I created a little Feelings Kit meditation. So it's these 6 oils: forgiveness, harmony, inner child, present time, release, and valor. And so I'll just kind of share about them. You're welcome to, if you're watching this, you're welcome to screenshot each of the next few slides as we go through each of the oils. If you want to like know what oils are in them, feel free to do that. And I will just do a little mini meditation, okay? Like a minute on each of these oils. So present time. So if you're like me, past and future oftentimes consumes you, like you can get so lost in like, you're doing one thing, but you're thinking about the next thing coming, perhaps that's you, perhaps you can relate to me on that. I know for me, I've been replaying, right, over the last 6 months since mom took her last breath. I'm like replaying that 16 months like nonstop. And so for me, I'm spending a lot of time in the past right now. And so present time is an invitation, right, to come back to the breath, to come back to the miracle. Like, look at your hand right now. Like, what is going, like, really? Like, what is, like, where are we? What a gift. So present time oil is just a reminder, an invitation to just increase our awareness of all that's happening right now, right? In our bodies, in the people around us, perhaps. Being present with our friends, right? There's a difference between when I'm on my phone and hanging out with my wife versus when my phone is off or not in the picture and I'm just locked in. So here's the presence rising. Next oil is valor. So valor, again, we're just breathing this in. Valor, or old school English, valor, is bravery, courage, strength. In Spanish, valor means courage, bravery, strength. Hello, train. Hello. This is a very woodsy oil. It's incredible as a grounding oil. I love the woodsy oils and the tree oils to help me ground and to reconnect to the miracle it is that I'm connected to the phytoplankton and the trees around me. So valor is a huge reminder. This is also an invitation for us to remember how courageous we are. Like each of us right now, as we're listening to this, as I'm sharing this, like what you've walked through, wow. Like if we watched your movie, if we watched any of our movies, we would be like, whoa, how are you still rocking? How are you? Wow, this is incredible. We are just very resilient humans. And so here's to just acknowledging what resilient, courageous humans we are. And we're just inviting that courage and that bravery to rise in our lives. Release oil is the next oil. And if you've yet to use these 6 oils, I'm telling you, at some point, put it on your bucket list, save for it, make it happen, because the smells are just divine. So release oil, this is a little bit deeper of a process, but release, like what do I need to breathe out? What do I need to let go of? What am I releasing? What is blocking me from joy? Maybe I'm suppressing some anger, right? Maybe I'm suppressing some anger and I actually need to like talk to somebody or I need to journal, or I need to like release that anger somehow, somewhere. Right? So like what do I need to release? What am I ready to release? So maybe spending some time with a journal, spending time with a therapist, like what in my life, what programs, right? You got downloaded with programs, I did too. What beliefs, are there any things that like, do I need to make some upgrades? What are some of my belief systems, my programs, my downloads that aren't serving me anymore, that are not bringing love to my life or love to my friendships or my partnerships? So release. This is a deeper, longer process, but here's to courageously just having the conversation with ourselves and with one another in safe spaces, right? Where we can really dive in there and be like, okay, what do I need to release? What's blocking me from this next part of my evolution, or this, what do I need to shift? What am I ready to shift? And this oftentimes requires a conversation about forgiveness. When we're talking about releasing, right, or letting go of something, oftentimes we got to dive in with, and have this conversation about forgiveness. Like where do I need to forgive? Why this resentment is holding strong, it's hanging around, I can't release it. Okay, so we look at our toolbox and we're like, okay, what's going to be my way forward? How can I forgive this person? How can I forgive myself? How can I move forward? And again, I acknowledge that our journeys, right? The resentments that maybe we hold from back in the day or from other, previous times. And, maybe it's hard to imagine forgiving or letting go or releasing. And so here's to your unique, courageous journey as you're sorting through, are there zones? Are there things that you want to release? Is there unforgiveness? Because as we show up, as we forgive, our cells are dancing. Our cells are excited when we're forgiving, when we're offering grace to ourselves and others. I believe our cells dance in jubilation. So here's to having conversations with ourselves, with safe people around us about where do we want to release, where do we want to forgive. And the last 2 oils are harmony and inner child. And harmony, I always like to visualize like pouring harmony. Like when I think harmony, I think tranquility. I think peace. I think loving kindness, right? So I'm just imagining and believing that I am worthy of harmony in my life, right? So just breathing that in. We are worthy of harmony and tranquility and loving kindness in our lives today, right now, right here. So breathing that in, filling ourselves up. I just like visually like pouring that harmonious like potion, right? This oil, I'm just visualizing that warmth pouring through my body, through my cells. And then final oil is inner child. And for me, this is a playful one. It smells amazing. During my meditation earlier today, a woman said that she loves putting this on and goes to a concert and dances and sings. So for me, this is a very uplifting, light oil. So this is an invitation, I think, for us to have a conversation with our inner child. What does our inner child want? Like does your inner child miss dancing? Maybe you haven't turned on your favorite kind of music and like turned it up a little bit in a while. Maybe it's been a while. Maybe your inner child is like, hey, I just want to go outside. Let's just go sit outside with no electronics and just watch the trees, or watch the birds sing, or watch the ants crawl, right? Remember when we used to just be like in awe of little ants crawling around? So like, what's your inner child like saying, hey, come like explore, come adventure, come be in the present moment. I mean, it's right? Children are just so locked in and marveling. Of course, they cry too, but we're focused on this like this playful part of the inner child. So those are the 6 oils. That's a brief little glimpse of the meditation I do. I just did one on my Instagram, on my Facebook here today, a little longer version if you want to slow down and dive in a little deeper. So yeah, just you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook if that's an interest of yours. So again, lots of tools in the wellness toolbox, right? And Young Living oils and products are part of that journey for me. They're part of the toolbox, right? This feelings kit, like I needed to do the meditation today for myself. Like I hadn't done it in a few weeks. And it was like, these 6 oils, I needed to slow down and breathe them in. And so this idea of transfer buying, so instead of going and getting this or that from other places, like what Young Living products could be replacements for the things I used to get at Target, the things I used to get at Walgreens, things I used to get elsewhere. So yeah, whoever invited you to this call, make sure if you're curious to learn more, this is a great little graphic to have just to see kind of what Young Living has as far as different products go. Getting the best deal, I personally choose to be on loyalty rewards. So Sarah and I, my wife, we get a wellness box every month. And so we just change our products each month. We get points back each month, and those points can then be used on free product. Depending upon how much you order, you also are eligible for little bonuses as well. But yeah, so every time Sarah and I order, after being on it now for 8-10 years, probably 10 plus years, we earn 25% back in points. And so those points then go into us being able to order up free product. I just used points the other day to buy some chewable vitamin C. It's one of my favorite Young Living supplements. So loyalty rewards is worth considering if you are brand new to the Young Living world. Our Living Well Now team, there's lots of oily teams out there. We're one courageous bunch of Living Well Now oilers, and we do our best to offer workshops and trainings and just education. We've got a couple private Facebook groups. We have a great YouTube channel. If you are curious to explore around, I would definitely recommend looking up Living Well Now and just kind of looking at the different workshops we've uploaded there over the last 4 to 5 years. And we're all about being welcoming and inclusive here in the Living Well Now community. You can also build a business. So if you are curious about that, definitely reach out to whoever invited you to check out this workshop or check out this event and to find out more. And in fact, next week, I'll skip to this graphic. Next week, my sister-in-law, Andrea, is going to be teaching Pay for Your Obsession. So on June 21st from 5 to 5:30, she's doing Pay for Your Obsession. And then there's an Essential Oils 101 event that I'm doing on the 28th from 5 to 5:30 as well. And that's West Coast time. So that's 8 to 8:30 on the East Coast. So lots of great events coming up to check out. These are Zoom calls. And yeah, if you're ready to get started, definitely reach out to whoever invited you to this call or to watch this YouTube video. And yeah, just have them help you get started. Make sure you have their member number so you can join their specific team. And yeah, here's to you continuing to like add to your toolbox, right? At the end of the day, you have different wellness goals, different wellness hopes, and it is all about you kind of figuring out, all right, what do I want to address? How do I want to show up for myself? And then you just kind of dive in. And if you do loyalty rewards, you dive in and you're like, okay, I want to dive into the Ningxia Red, or, oh, I really want to start with that feelings kit. That sounds like I'm down for that. So you just kind of make your way through and address your specific goals and your specific wellness needs. So here's to you, here's to each of us saying yes to wellness. Every time we make a great choice for our body, mind, spirit wellness, it's blessing us, but it's also blessing everybody else. It's blessing our families and the larger community and the whole world. So thanks for being on the journey with me. Thanks for being here tonight, and sending you lots of love.